Welcome to the vlog, welcome to No Boring Days. My name is Carlo, and if you are a regular subscriber of this vlog, you already know that I really like gravel bikes. Most of the videos that I have here are about gravel bikes, but they are not for everyone. So, if you're thinking of buying a gravel bike, these are a few things to keep in mind. First of all, what is a gravel bike? A gravel bike is basically a road bike with slightly different geometry. It usually tends to be a little bit more relaxed. But the biggest difference is you can fit chunkier tires on it, typically 700 by 40 tires. So don't buy a gravel bike if speed is the most important thing to you. Gravel bikes tend to be built up to accommodate the bigger tire and wear and tear of off-roading. So they tend to be heavier, less aero, and generally speaking, just not as fast as a road bike. So if speed is everything, or getting the latest and greatest KOM, or crit racing, or going up hills as fast as you can, a gravel bike is not for you. But take note, a gravel bike is not that much slower than a road bike, in my opinion, unless you are racing. If you just want a bike to keep up with your friends on the weekends or do road rides, a gravel bike is a perfectly fine bike for it. You might be a little bit slower, but not by much. And I found that once you get up to speed, the gravel bike can basically keep up with a road bike. The biggest difference in my experience is in the acceleration. So I found that if I wanted to get up to a certain speed, maybe let's say from 20 to 35 kilometers per hour, I would need to work a little bit harder than somebody else on a road bike. But once I reach that speed, you can pretty much keep up with anybody on a road bike, unless you are, of course, racing. Another reason not to buy a gravel bike is if you are into like really gnarly, rowdy off-roading. Now, while a gravel bike is a very capable off-road bike, it cannot compare to a full-fledged mountain bike, whether it's a hardtail or a full suspension bike. It just can't. The bigger tires, the suspension of the mountain bike, the geometry, all of those things make it a much more capable off-road machine than a gravel bike. But then again, those are also the things that slow it down on the road. But if you want to do like enduro type riding or technical trails or like kilometers of rock gardens or cross-country racing, then a mountain bike is the way to go. Now why would you want a gravel bike? Now, if you've watched any of my videos, pretty much I give you a really good reason to get a gravel bike. I have videos of road rides, of trails, of off-roading, of bike packing even, and I'm always using a gravel bike. So if you want a great all-around bike, something for fast road rides, easy trails, bike packing, adventure riding, coffee rides, commutes, gravel bike is great for that. If the area that you live in happens to have a lot of bad roads, like here in the Philippines, there is an unbelievable amount of bad roads. So a gravel bike is pretty perfect for the terrain here. Or if you like mixing up your rides, like you have a ride where you do 30 or 40 kilometers of road and maybe another 5, 10, 20 kilometers of off-roading or trails, that is a really good reason to get a gravel bike as well. Because I used to think that if you had a road bike and a mountain bike, why would you get a gravel bike? But I found that some of my most enjoyable rides mix road riding and off-road riding. And, road riding on a mountain bike does not feel that great. And road riding on a gravel bike is totally fine. And off-road riding on a gravel bike is totally fine, as long as it's not too gnarly or rad or crazy. To me, a gravel bike is much closer to a road bike than it is to a mountain bike. It's a very capable road bike and it can do a lot of off-road stuff. But once you start getting to the edges of like gnarly off-road stuff, it can be quite difficult and a lot more dependent on rider's skill off-road. So that's it. If you've been thinking of buying a gravel bike, I hope that has helped you. I hope that has informed your decision. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, hate the video. If you hate the video, maybe just don't comment. Alright, no boring days. Please subscribe.